That is where I'm heading. Drift Creek Wilderness to the Horse Creek Trail. 10.3 miles. Nice they got a sign on it. All right. It is 5 o'clock and it's time to set up camp. I'm always forgetting to unlock the door. All right, sweetie. There you go. So I'm on National Forest Service land, which is public land. And in the United States, the public is allowed to use their own land. You're allowed to primitive camp. We call it boondocking. Anywhere that is not posted otherwise, you're free to stay up to 14 days in the same space. And I think this looks nice. I was just on my way out to the Drift Creek. I found a spur road off of the Forest Service road that I was on, came up until I found a likely spot. I'm, at least 2 miles back up this road. I'm at an old log landing, and I think this looks like a pretty good site for the night. Don't you agree there, baby dog? Oh yeah, I sure do. What a face. What a face. All right, she's a happy girl. She gets to run around. And I'm going to set up camp. All right, I got the basics of camp set up. A little kitchen area. Got the tent going. Somebody's happy just to hang out. I think that run on the beach from earlier today wore her out. Anyway, I'm going to show you what this guy is. This is my pressurized water dispenser, all right? And I will show you how I put this thing together in a future video. But this is my wash station. I sit on the chair there, wash my hair, wash my hands, just generally stay clean. And I definitely feel the need for a prep table. I'm just running out of room. I cook too much. All right, let's get started. Yummers. I think my meal is getting real close to being done. Not too bad. Don't want to overcook them. I think I'll call it done. I think I might need to think about getting a bigger plate sometime. Okay, here we go. Little piece of zucchini. Warm through, soft on the outside, still crunchy on the inside. Okay. Yellow squash. Yum, 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 yum. Mushroom. These are cremini mushrooms. Oh, I love barbecued mushrooms. All right, let's try this steak. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but I was at the store looking for something I could barbecue, and it looked good, so I picked up a little piece of top sirloin. Nice and juicy. So tender. All right, I am going to enjoy this. Talk to you later. Well, all right then. Dinner is done. The dishes are done. I just washed my hair, washed my pits. So I am going to settle in for the evening. Me and my dog. Where's my dog? You guys love Summit more than you love me, I know it. So anyway, I think I'm just going to settle in with my book and a cup of tea, and I will see you in the morning. Hey, good night. Now there's a fine looking breakfast. Even smiling up at me. There's my baby girl. Hello. Good morning, Summit. She's already had her breakfast. She says, I'll take yours too, Dad. No. You know better than that. All right. Dig in. All right, well, I've got it all packed up, ready to roll. So, as you can see behind me, there's a fog layer kind of hanging over the hills there. It's lifted a little bit, but it's still drizzling a little bit. I had a high cloud layer, and then this fog bank moved in as I was starting to pack up this morning, and it just started drizzling, and it got everything soaked. So, yeah, you can see all the water on the car. Anyway, I'm ready to load up if I can get the dog in the car. She's getting really tired of riding around. All she wants to do is roam. I can't blame her. It's boring for a dog in the car. Anyway, off to the day's adventures. All right. So here we are. I've reached the Trailhead parking area for the Drift Creek Trail. You know, and after that one big sign that was right as I started down the road to get here, it was nothing. Good thing I had good driving directions. Anyway, geez. So it's still pretty overcast. You can see I am the only one here. It's a Monday morning, so I'm not surprised. Everybody's everybody's at work. Not me. Let me show you something here. There's my doggie. The thimbleberry are ripe. It's the middle of June. Oh, and these things are so tasty. You see why they call them a thimbleberry. You can put them on the end of your finger. Let me find a couple of nice ones here. Oops, lost one. They're very fragile. And very tasty. You know, you'd have to work really hard to make yourself a meal out of these guys, but they're a wonderful little taste treat. All right, not only thimbleberry, over here on this side of the parking area, we got some salmonberry. And these have a really nice sweet tart flavor. Oh, don't need that. Okay, there you go. All right. Oh, the flavor of nature. And right here, this is red elderberry. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Blue elderberry is pretty good stuff, but the red is very bitter. I don't think it'll kill you if you eat it, but you don't want to eat it because it doesn't taste very good. All right. I need to get my backpack ready with some water, some trail food, and take off down this trail here into a pocket wilderness. Let me show you where I am. Show you on a map. All right, it's going to be hard to see the detail. I'm not sure if this thing is going to want to focus in properly. Let me see how. Right in this general area here. There it is. All right, so tucked into the Siuslaw National Forest here, there's this little pocket wilderness, Drift Creek Wilderness. If you can even see that, Drift Creek Wilderness. And it doesn't, the shaded area doesn't even show up. You can see these wildernesses down here, the Cummings Creek and the Rock Creek. You can actually see where they're darker. The Drift Creek, I mean, you can't even see the little dark spot. It is so tiny. But there's old growth lumber back down in here. It's about it's a little less than a 4-mile trail. Now this Atlas of Oregon Wilderness by William L. Sullivan. Oh, it's just Bible. All right. He gives great details. So here was the driving instructions. Perfect driving instructions for how to get here. All right, so here is an overview. These maps, by the way, Bill makes himself. Amazingly talented man. All right, so I came in on 50. This is a Forest Road 50. And then branched off onto 5087 right here. And now I'm right here where the trailhead is. So I'm going to be taking the Horse Creek Trail down in towards Drift Creek. This should be a real nice hike. Boy, after that one Forest Service sign way back at the beginning, everything has been pretty rustic. All right, here we go. Wonderful. And Summit gets to be off leash today. We are in the middle of nowhere. Nobody else around. So this is something I didn't expect. Not surprised, but didn't expect it. Little kiosk sign for the wilderness. All right, so this is the one that I'm on right here. Does it give me any information on length? It does not. Just tells me that Horse Creek North Trail number 1362.1. All right. But Bill already told me it was 3.8 miles. So here we go. So there have been several comments on my hat, and one commenter I read actually got it correct. It's a Tilley hat. Tilley is a brand made in Canada with Canadian persnicketiness. There's a story on the inside of the hat there. And there's also a story about how I came up with it. So I probably own about 4 hats in this style. And I was wearing one of them when I found this one. So I was on the Chush Falls Trail in the Three Sisters Wilderness. And you can find that hike back in my archives. Oh, beautiful umbrella waterfalls. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I was standing on about a 20-foot bluff overlooking the upper falls and just looking around. And right at the base of the bluff, I saw this hat. And it had apparently blown off somebody's head, and they thought it was too much trouble to go get it. And I took a look at that, and it's like I took a look around. It's like scrambling down to that wouldn't be any really big deal at all. So I took off and found my way down and found this hat. And it was obviously pretty much brand new at the time. It's like, what a score. Anyway, Tilley, I am not affiliated. But if they want to send me a hat to try out, I wouldn't say no. Boy, it's obvious enough that I'm in a Pacific rainforest. Beautiful hike. Notice this shelf fungus here. And look how there's a branch below it. And the fungus has actually grown around the branch. So cool. I love nature. So does Summit. It's my girl. It's my good baby girl. All right. Clouds are starting to thin somewhat. Seeing some sun kind of peeking through. Just getting thinner up there. So I seem to be in a second growth forest at the moment. Seeing some stumps, but seeing some really good sized fir trees as well. Well, this one came down right in the path. Look at that root ball. You find anything interesting in there? All right. So I've been noticing a pretty steady downhill grade. I'm going to have quite the climb coming back up out of here. I believe Bill said it was something like, a 500-foot elevation gain, something like that. That's not so bad at all, especially over 3-something miles. You know, I have not seen a sign yet for the Drift Creek Wilderness, so I don't know if I'm inside it or not. I'm seeing some massive trees though, and I don't see any stumps. Let me show you the girth on this one. Wowza. The size of the burl on this. Wow. Another one just up the trunk from it. So predominantly Douglas fir is what I'm seeing here. And the understory, vine maple, and dog. So this is the first hemlock that I've noticed. You see the difference in the bark type as opposed to the Douglas fir. Western hemlock. Hello, friend. Marvelous. Well, that hemlock was the first sign I had, but now there's others that I've entered a mixed conifer forest. So this is western cedar. So still. Listen. So I stumbled across some red huckleberry here. Now, there really aren't very many on a plant. But if I poke around here a little bit, I can get a small handful. You know, you might want to call that a sweet tart as well. A fun little taste treat. So I started descending a really steep bank way down there. It's just hugging the side of the bank with switchbacks to take me back down. What a fun trail. I'm definitely going to have to do an overnight backpack trip here at some point. Midweek when it's nice and quiet like this. Isn't this cedar trunk gorgeous? Let's look up. Oh, man. Okay. So Bill's description said I would run across a campsite on a bench above the creek. Listen. I can hear the creek. Oh, yes. Here we are, Drift Creek. Now, Bill also said that it was a hard scramble down a bank to get to the creek. But I think this is the trail. And you know the boring old guy has to go take it. All right, meet you at the bottom. Well, that wasn't so bad. It was steep, to be sure. But lots of things to hold on to. She's having a marvelous time getting a drink. Oh man, this is so peaceful. This is why you hike in the woods. All right, but I've got to have a snack. Start heading back out again. Got a 6 o'clock appointment tonight, and I got to make it back into town to keep up with that. So I'm going to have a snack back up at that campsite. Give the doggy a snack too, of course, and start hiking back out. I'll catch up with you back at the trailhead. Just sunning himself on the trail. Afraid I'm going to be disturbing him as I go by. So pretty. All right, little buddy. Well, I guess I didn't bother him too much. That's good. What are you looking at? All right, Summit has known that we're getting closer to the trailhead for a while. She keeps running up ahead of me. Then she'll stop and wait until I'm within eye shot, and then she'll run up ahead again. There we are. Now this is just really hard to tell. I never did see the sign that said I had entered the wilderness, but looking at the trail map, maybe about a quarter of the way through the hike. Anyway, 10 out of 10. What a hike. I think she agrees with me. She's heading for the car. All right, so I'm back at the car, back at the trailhead. Got a clean shirt on, heading back toward town. Got the doggy some water. She's taking a break in the shade. I'm gonna have to make her get back into the car pretty soon. She's not gonna want to do that. But anyway, trail was a solid 10 out of 10. I'd rate it moderately difficult just because the elevation grade change, is no joke. Steep in portions, very steep in portions. Get a good cardio. About 8 miles round trip. Great hike. Definitely have to go back and do some backpacking on that bench above the creek. That looks like a splendid time. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. So until next time, take a hike. God bless. See you later.